If you're looking for a very complete 3-inch lift for your JK, this 3-inch lift by Teraflex will be a high-quality kit that you definitely want to take a look at. This will come with all of the components that you would need and more to get 3 inches of lift except for the shocks. But that will give you a choice in what 3-inch rated shocks that you'll want to pair with this lift, which is a nice option that you do get. With this kit, this will definitely be able to fit a pair of 33s underneath your fender, though they might look a little small on the JK. I would say a 35 is your best choice for a tire for this lift if you want it to look full, but still have some room for articulation off-road. Now, you will be able to fit a 37-inch tire on this lift, but you will have some rubbing with the fenders and won't have much room for flex. So if you're looking to fit 37s on this lift, I would recommend flat fenders and bump stops to reduce that rubbing, or to take a look at kits with about an inch more of height and they'll fit like a glove. This kit is a higher budget option because of what you're getting with the street and the trail performance, as well as the high quality components. But I'll cover the breakdown of the parts in just a moment. As you can assume, with most lifts, this will stick to a 3 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, but it doesn't require any drilling and is completely bolt-on. As I said, this will give you enough room vertically to comfortably fit a 35-inch tire underneath your fender and give you enough room to flex, even with those factory fenders. Like I also said, this is a very complete kit and comes with coils, 6 flex arms, Teraflex speed bump stops, extended sway bar links, and limit straps, as well as a front adjustable track bar and all of the hardware to install it. Although this is basically a one-stop shop, there's also room to add on to this kit with the choice of shocks, upper front control arms, and a rear adjustable track bar if you didn't want to use the bracket. I do like that Teraflex did that though, because the shocks are what give you the most ride quality, and this option will make you choose a shock that is right for you instead of sticking you with one choice for a shock. Teraflex labels this the ST, which means street and trail performance. So you're essentially getting the best of both worlds with very responsive handling and comfort at the same time. The Sport Flex arms are one of the components that will give you that flexibility. These are preset to a fixed length that will give you the proper pinion and caster angle for those 3 inches of lift, which plays a big part in correcting the geometry of the lift so you don't get a flighty feel on the highway and you're avoiding any faster wear on your driveline. They also feature a flexible bushing that will give you more articulation off-road, minimize any vibration that you might get with a stiffer bushing, and help with road noise, which will be really nice if you're adding larger and louder tires. There are also some other cool things in this lift that you don't see in many other lift kits, including the limiting straps as well as Teraflex high-speed bump stops. The limiting straps will be good for you on-road, and they do exactly what they say. They limit. These are going to limit your suspension travel to prevent any premature driveline failure. Now for the bump stops, Teraflex really put a lot of thought into these, and they're a very good addition to this kit in my opinion. The bump stops will reduce any hard impacts while bottoming out on any bumps, and they'll help you keep control of your Jeep, making your JK suspension very responsive. These aren't your typical rubber bump stop, and they more or less act like a shock. They're nitrogen charged and performance tuned, so they will not fade, and they're temperature resistant, making these probably the most premium bump stops that you can get for your JK. As for the rest of the kit, you get a forged monster front adjustable track bar that will center your axle after the lift and provide a lot more strength than your factory track bar. You also get extended sway bars as well as all of the hardware needed to install it, like relocation brackets for your rear track bar and brake lines. From what you can take from that breakdown, you can probably already assume that this is going to be a little higher budget, and it's right around $1,600. This will not be the most expensive 3-inch lift kit that we offer, but keep in mind that you will need to get a proper size shock to accommodate for that lift, so that will add on to the price and it will vary on which shock you want to go with. We do have lower price options that will be a lot more budget friendly, but you won't be getting a very complete kit with the control arms and extra goodies. If you didn't need the extras, we have a couple kits that are about half the price and they're still high quality kits. Kits that are going to be more expensive than what I have here will include other components that this kit doesn't have, like reservoir shocks and both track bars, but you do have to trade off the control arms and some other parts with that higher price. However, in my opinion, this is one of the most complete kits that you will get at around $1,600. If you're looking for a one-stop shop with high performance, this will definitely be a good option to take a look at. This is going to be a 3 out of 3 on install, guys, and it's going to take you about half of your day and a bunch of hand tools like an assortment of sockets and wrenches and a lift or a jack and some jack stands. Now, you can chock the wheels in the front and the back and do this on jack stands, but to keep it simple, I would recommend a lift. You will have to do a lot of disassembly to the front, like the front track bar, steering stabilizer, shocks, sway bars, and detach the brake hoses as well as the wiring. Then you can loosen the drive shaft where it connects to the axle and remove the lower front control arms. After that, you can sag the axle and remove the springs and install your bump stops. If you don't have enough room to get the spring back in around the bump stop, you might need a spring compressor. After that, you can tighten and reassemble everything now with your new components like your front adjustable track bar and longer sway bar links and the front control arms, as well as the brake lines and the relocation brackets. For the back, you will have to repeat what you did for the front, but you'll have to disconnect both the upper and the lower control arms to replace them, as well as installing the rear track bar relocation bracket. After everything is done and the Jeep's on its own weight, you can install your limit straps. I highly recommend getting in alignment after you install any lift so you can correct all of your angles, even though this kit does say that it's an install and drive kit. So if you're looking for a very complete 3-inch lift kit for your JK, Teraflex has a great option to check out. This is Meredith with XT, and you can find this lift and everything else Wrangler right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.